Hey guys, Harry Thomas here, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my top 10 best movies of 2019. 2019 is the best year in film. In all honesty, this has been such a landmark year for movies in general, and some of my very favourite movies of all time will feature on this list, and this list is going to be a list that not all will agree with, but that's okay because film is the most subjective art form. I love seeing different lists, and I can't wait to hear your top 10 favourite movies of the year in the comments section. So before we move on from the 2010s decade and enter the 2020s decade, let us celebrate my top 10 favourite movies from the final year of the 2010s decade. If you want to know my list, then just keep watching. But first, here are my top 5 honourable mentions of movies that came close to making the top 10 list. Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Abominable, Avengers Endgame. I know you're all pissed that Avengers Endgame didn't make my top 10. Trust me, it nearly did. And my final honourable mention, Dark Phoenix. At number 10, one of the two great Stephen King movies on my list, Doctor Sleep. This movie didn't receive the full attention it deserved at all. It was still praised, but not to the extent of The Shining, and it should have been. This is on par with The Shining. This movie made me want to watch The Shining all over again and watch both in one sitting. This feels like The Shining Part 2, and we get to see the kid from the first Shining mature and become a mentor figure to this young girl who he teaches her how to control her abilities, and yeah, it has the exact same thrills and scares and spine-tingling moments of the first Shining. At number 9, Charlie's Angels. This is easily the most overly savaged and unjustifiably hated movie of 2019. But I'm gonna be the one male that does stand up for this movie, and rightly so. I'm not gonna put it on my worst list like others. I'm gonna put it on the list it deserves to be on, the best list. It's a harmless, kick-ass girl power flick. What's not to love about it? There is nothing wrong with that. And Elizabeth Banks wasn't saying it was the men's fault that this movie was flopping whatsoever. She never meant it like that. So she only wants moviegoers of both genders to give Charlie's Angels a chance. You know me, I don't just like or love girl power, I adore it, and this is how you do an all-female action movie. These girls from Kristen Stewart to Naomi Scott, so they had such a rich chemistry that they felt like sisters, and I was having such fun at the movies with this movie that I forgot about all the controversy. This is what you go to the movies for entertainment, not for controversy. At number 8, It Chapter 2. This also sadly didn't receive the praise it deserved, similar to Doctor Sleep. I am beyond speechless that critics and moviegoers called this a disappointment in comparison to the 2017. It's the majority seems to favour part 1 of Stephen King's timeless classic, When the Losers Club are Kids. I'm in the minority, but I'm siding with part 2 of the story where they're adults. I could relate to that better being a young adult myself, and seeing the losers club reunite. So they're even more badass as adults as they take on Pennywise. Sure, there's just 20 minutes of Pennywise in the movie, but that's all he needed to be in, and that finale is nothing but Pennywise, and Beverly especially got some her defining moments in this movie, especially when she returns to her old home, where Pennywise tricks her as the old lady. So yeah, Chapter 2 shall be one of my fave movies to watch at Halloween from now on. And this has some of the most flawless pacing I've ever seen in a 3-hour movie. At number 7, Shazam! The most surprising DCU installment. Now, I didn't have great hopes of once I saw the trailers for Shazam. I thought it was just going to be a joke, a dumb parody, but I judge the trailers too harshly. Never judge a book by its cover, because Shazam is, if you know that song they play in the power testing scene, the Queen having a good time. You will more than have a good time with Shazam. You will have an awesome time with this movie. It's a classic throwback to the classic days of superheroes. Billy Batson being such a sympathetic, coming-of-age young hero who is finding his place in the world. He needs to make the decision between his biological mother, who he's separated from at the fair, and his adoptive family, who truly care about him. While Shazam and Dr. Sivana's fights are epic, this is a DCU movie that puts a heart and story before action, similar to Wonder Woman and Aquaman. While I won't go as far as calling this the best DCU movie as some claim, that would still be Wonder Woman for me, but Shazam is my third favourite easily. At number 6, the Lego Movie 2, the second part. This sequel will get stuck inside your, this sequel will get stuck inside your, this sequel will get stuck inside your head. Before I saw this movie, I had no idea it would ever make my top 10 best movies of 2019, nor would it be one of my favourite animated movies of the entire year. But this is now my favourite of the Lego Movie franchise, dethroning even the original Lego Movie. This one had a more relatable plot to me. It was the brother attempting, realising he needed to share the Lego with his sister. Just like in my childhood, I needed to learn to share the toys with my sister, and I think anybody who has a sibling will see themselves as the brother and sister in this movie. And this movie, it's even more imaginative than the first, with characters like Queen Whatever I Wanna Be, Captain Mayhem, who turned out to be a sweetheart, and awesome titles like the Star System and Our Mum Again, and this sequel has the most imaginative writers on the planet, and the twist that Rex Dangerman was a future evil version of Emmett. Now that was a ballsy direction to take the sequel in. So yeah, Lego Movie 2, underrated, awesome sequel. At number 5, Joker. I disagree if you want, but Joaquin Phoenix is now my favourite Joker. He kills it as the character. Joker is my second favourite superhero movie of 2019. Even though it doesn't feel anything like a comic book movie, it feels like one of those artsy movies that would be nominated at the Academy Awards, and fingers crossed it does have a shot. So if Black Panther can be nominated, so can Joker. And this movie delivered a far darker and more emotionally driven origin turn to the dark side story for the Joker than the comics ever did. In the comics, he just fell into a tub of acid and that was it. Arthur Fleck was was a lovely dude deep down who was caring for his mother and did have a good relationship with his girlfriend and her daughter, and he only wanted to bring laughter to Gotham, but Gotham treated him like shit in return. So it goes to show Gotham should have treated him better, and I and shame on Rotten Tomatoes for only giving this legit masterpiece a 68%. At number 4, let's get controversial big time. Captain Marvel. If there was ever a superhero movie that could be even better than Joker this year, it would be Captain Marvel. This movie is a love letter to not only Marvel fans, but fans of female superhero movies in general. This is the Marvel twin sister to Wonder Woman. Brie Larson gives the greatest female performance of 2019 as Carol Danvers / Brie Larson. She is one of my legit movie crushes. I just wanted to spoil her with flowers and chocolates and date her and all as she is so awesome, and even Nick Fury is the best he's ever been in the MCU. Goose the cat had such appeal to me, as me and my family are all cat lovers, and the friendship between Carol and Lashana Lynch's character and her daughter was the sweetest part of the movie. This movie has the most likable Marvel protagonists, and the twists that the Skrulls were the heroes and the Kree were the villains. Something I never would have guessed in a million years, and seeing Carol become Captain Marvel, she delivers the best quote in any MCU movie. "My name is Carol," when she goes goddess mode and she is taking out the Kree instantly. I would love to see her in more of the MCU. At number 3, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, the truly underrated and beyond epic and mind-blowing conclusion to cinema's most beloved saga, and me and my mum absolutely adored it. We are not with the critics whatsoever. We were crying walking out of our screening, yeah, I can't wait to watch the entire saga now on May the 4th of 2020. Rise of Skywalker is the Star Wars movie that has it all to me, and just the stakes throughout got higher and higher throughout its 2 hour and 35-minute running time, and we were constantly like, how the heck are our heroes going to come out on top? But with the threat of Palpatine, his return was justified. He was the villain that began the saga. He should be the villain that concludes this. Yeah, and the revelation that Rey was Palpatine's granddaughter was an even smarter twist than the "I am your father" twist from Empire. But I'm so pleased that Rey took the Skywalker name when she buried Luke and Leia's lightsabers on Tatooine. It's a beautiful message to say it doesn't matter what family you're born into or biologically. What matters is who you choose to be. At number 2, Disney's greatest sequel, Frozen 2. We had to sit through 3 bullshit live-action remakes, well, technically 4 if you count the Lady and the Tramp remake on Disney Plus, to get to the one masterpiece that Disney would release this year. I am shocked not to see either Frozen 2 or Rise of Skywalker on any top 10 lists that I have seen, but I'm going to be the first to put them on the lists that they deserve to be on. I strongly disagree with both the critics and haters on both movies. Frozen 2 exceeded the first Frozen on all accounts. The songs were superior, the plot was superior and more mature. and Anna's parents had a larger role. Every single protagonist receives a song this time, and I cried at Queen Aduna's lullaby to Elsa and Anna. I cried at Lost in the Woods. I especially cried when Elsa entered Otter Holland and she was freezing. She was willing to give her life to discover the truth. I was like, no, if you kill off Elsa movie, I'm raising you an automatic 0. And then I cried at Olaf's death, and I cried when Anna sings the next right thing. God, let's get controversial, but Frozen 2 for me is the second best Disney classic ever made, second only to Lion King. And also Frozen 2 certainly has superior animation to its predecessor, and it would have been my number one had there not been one animated feature that I liked slightly better. And my number one favourite movie of 2019 would be none other than How to Train Your Dragon 3: The Hidden World. Duh! Of course this movie was going to be my number one. For me, there is no better movie in general than The Hidden World. It's certainly tied with The Lion King as my favourite movie ever. This is the single most flawless conclusion to a trilogy and a franchise ever made, period. It goes to show Dean DeBlois had a vision and a plan with this trilogy from the very beginning, and that is how trilogies should be written. They should be one director's vision, and this is the most perfect adaptation of Christina Cowell's beloved books. So special thanks to Dean DeBlois. The romance between Toothless and the Light Fury is the most adorable in film, all told with no dialogue, and the Light Fury herself has become my fave How to Train Your Dragon character. She is the true hero of the movie, and seeing Hiccup and Toothless being forced to parts ways is the saddest goodbye scene in any movie, and the Hidden World scene features the most stunning visuals ever put to film, and Grimmauld would be the How to Train Your Dragon franchise's greatest villain. He is literally the polar opposite of Hiccup. The final battle of the Hidden World is the most electrifying final battle I've ever seen in movie history, especially when Hiccup and Toothless rescue the Light Fury from Grimmauld. Grimmauld shoots Toothless with a dart, and Hiccup tells the Light Fury to save Toothless, and he's willing to give his life for Toothless, and then Hiccup and Grimmauld are presumably falling to their deaths, but the Light Fury just rescues Hiccup just in time. My God, my heart was pounding, and it feels conclusive. We finally get the Hicksdrid wedding that we have been waiting for since the first movie. Astrid finally has the screen time she deserves, and she is the definition of gorgeous in this movie. And me and my mum were emotional throughout the entire epilogue, where Hiccup, Astrid, and their daughter and son Zephyr and Nothing visit Toothless in the Hidden World one final time, and then we stayed throughout the entire end credits song together from afar. My favourite end credits song for a movie. Yeah, I am proud to call The Hidden World the best movie of 2019. So they were my top 10 best movies of 2019. Well, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this list. And what are your top 10 favourite movies of 2019? Please comment and let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Please follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. And I'll see you next time when I share my top 10 worst movies of 2019. And oh man, there was some real shit that was released on the big screen this year. Trust me. And remember, movies are us. Bye, guys.